Okay, in this video, we're going to cover inequalities with single square term. And so let's begin. So we're going to solve this problem in two different ways. First way is, what if we take the square root of both sides? And so we're going to get the square root of x squared is less than the square root of 9. Now the square root of x squared gives us the absolute value of x is less than the square root of 9 is 3. Now this makes sense because if x is negative 2 or 2, you get the same results. At this point we split it up. So one version is going to be x is less than 3. The other version we could say is negative x is less than 3. And if you want to get rid of the negative, divide by negative 1, divide by negative 1, and so x is greater than negative 3. And so we have this piece and this piece. But let's also graph this. So we have negative 3 and we have 3. It says x is greater than negative 3, so going this way. The other one says x is less than 3, so going this way. So they collide. And because they collide, we can rewrite it as x is greater than negative 3, but less than 3. And so this right here is our final answer. And of course, it's always a good idea to test it. So a number between negative 3 and 3, it could be 0. 0 squared is less than 9, that's correct. Likewise, we can do negative 1 and 1. Negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. 1 is less than 9, correct. And the same idea, 1 squared is also 1, which is less than 9. Now we'll solve this problem another way, and we'll make this piece 0. So we're going to subtract 9 on both sides. And so we get x squared minus 9 is less than 0. From here we can factor this piece, and we're going to get x plus 3 and x minus 3 is less than 0. And our critical points will be x is equal to negative 3 and x is equal to 3. And so we're going to draw a quick graph. So we have negative 3 and 3. Now we don't know what happens at negative 4. We don't know what happens here, and we also don't know what happens here. All we know is these 2 points, you get 0. So the next thing that we need to do is draw a table. So when we pick our points, we can pick any point less than negative 3. I'm going to go ahead and pick negative 4. And then we think, give me a number bigger than negative 3, but less than 3. I'll pick 0, and a number bigger than 3, I'll pick 4. And the big idea that we're thinking about is 0 is neither positive or negative. So we care, is it positive or is it negative? And so if I put in a negative 4, I get negative 4 plus 3, which is a negative 1. But all we care about is positive or negative, so negative. I put a negative 4 here, I get negative 7, so negative. A negative times a negative is a positive. Then we do 0. 0 plus 3 is going to give us a positive number. 0 minus 3, we get a negative number. A positive times a negative is a negative. Last one, 4. 4 plus 3 is 7, so a positive number. If I put 4 here, 4 minus 3 is positive, and a positive times a positive is a positive number. Now, in our particular case, we want less than 0. Less than 0 are negative numbers. And when we draw our sketch, the negative 3 and 3, I'm doing an open circle because we don't include those points because it says less than 0, not 0. And then I'm going to connect it because at 0, at this point right here, at 0, you get a negative number. So you get a number less than 0. And so once you have this sketch, you'll be able to come up with the answer. You'll be able to say that x is greater than negative 3, but less than 3. And this right here is our final answer. And so we'll do another set of problems. We're going to solve it two different ways again. So we'll take the square root of both sides. So we have the square root of x squared, which is greater than the square root of 16. Now the square root of x squared gives us the absolute value of x, which is greater than 4. From here we split. We can say that x is greater than 4, and we're going to say negative x is greater than 4. And if we want to get rid of the negative, divide by negative 1, divide by negative 1, and so x is less than negative 4. And so we have this piece and this piece. But it's important, maybe we have to combine or maybe not. So let's draw a sketch. So we'll put negative 4 and 4. So this is saying x is greater than 4, so it's going this way. This is saying x is less than negative 4, going this way. Because they go opposite directions, you don't combine them, you keep them separate. And you can think about this. If I plug in a negative 5 here, negative 5 times negative 5 is 25. 25 is bigger than 16. Likewise, if I put 5 here, 5 squared is the same thing, 25, which is bigger than 16. Now we can solve this problem the other way, minus 16 minus 16. And so we get x squared minus 16 is greater than 0. If we then factor, we get x parentheses greater than 0. So then we'll put plus 4 minus 4. And so our two critical points will be negative 4 and 4. Because at these 2 points, if you plug into this equation, you get 0, which is neither positive or negative. Then we'll draw a little sketch. We got negative 4 and we got 4. Then we'll draw our table. Pick a point less than negative 4. I'm going to pick negative 5. Between negative 4 and 4, I'll pick 0. A number bigger than 4, I'll put 5. Now if I plug it in, negative 5 plus 4 is negative 1. Negative 5 minus 4 is negative 9. And so what we have is negative times a negative, which is a positive. Then we can do 0. So we'll have positive 4 and negative 4. So we'll say plus minus, which is negative. Last one, 5. So 5 plus 4 is 9. 5 minus 4 is 1. A positive times a positive, and that's going to give us a positive. Now this time we want greater than 0, so we want positive numbers. Again, we're going to do an open circle because we don't want 0. If I shade the circle, that means we include those 2 points. So negative 5 is this way, and positive 5 is this way. And once we have the graph, it's easy to come up with the answer. We're going to get x is greater than 4, that's one part, and also x is less than negative 4. That's the other part. And that's pretty much it for this video.